I was going for a screening at my general practitioner, as one does, when they, I guess, start a new lover, and also because we had an STI scare. So I thought, let's go have something checked out. So I went there, and then the doctor had said to me, let's do the general checkup of everything. And all the tests came out clear. As I was waiting in the consulting room for the nurse came back, and then I remember vividly the nurse asking me, did you get counseled? And do you know what happens? So I thought, okay, this is routine check, because we did have a chat with the doctor in his office. But then she said she was going to come back in a minute. So a minute turned into 5 minutes, and I started wondering, but I didn't pay any attention to it until the doctor came into the consulting room and basically told me that my blood had tested positive for HIV. In that moment, yeah, the whole world really stood still. And I had so many questions about, well, how could that have happened? But I think I became very blank for about a month or so, not knowing what to do. I remember distinctly thinking how cliched it was for me to be first queer or gay, and then secondly, contract HIV. I thought it was the most cliched thing of the century. But I think that also stems from the discrimination and stigma and the narrative that has been pushed around being HIV positive or living with HIV. I was anxious about telling my partner about my status, because you don't know how a person is going to react when they find out. Because on the one hand, they might feel like, oh my gosh, the shame of being with someone like that. And I vividly remember when I was still on dating sites that there would be things like looking for a clean person or non-positive person, and all these connotations that are assigned with living with HIV. So much more awareness that still needs to be done for people to really understand that getting on medication can lead to one, not being infectious or being able to transmit to a point that the virus in your body is suppressed, that it's almost like it's non-existent. I kid you not, if you would go on, for instance, the most popular kind of like dating site or a place to meet people, which is Grindr, there, if you go there, you will see the discrimination right in your face, where people are discriminated against. And I think also with following online conversations, you see those connotations of, would you date someone who's HIV positive? It's a shame how society has really shied away from this conversation, because I remember distinctly growing up on TV, HIV prevention was covered in shows like Soul Buddies, Takalani Sesame, Soul City. So I think we need to come back to those conversations of how do we talk about the campaigns like ABC, like abstinence, condomizing, and something else that I'm forgetting, and being faithful. But in a new age where we talk about you equals you. So if you're undetectable when you take your ARVs, you become untransmittable. And also the fact that maybe there's things like PrEP that people can get on. I think there's so much more that can be done to create communities. And by communities, I mean support groups that can really help foster an environment that does not isolate people, but makes people feel embraced and part of society.